How are we?
Good.
We good? What are we working on out there? What is she talking about?
With Danielle, breathing.
Yeah? Did she tell you that we're going to do some breathing?
No.
No? Okay. We'll do some
Figured
breathing.
you were,
Who was here last year? Okay, cool. All right, so last year I came in, and I was a year less. I guess I'm a year more now. And last year I kind of came in with the intention of, let me get all this good information for them. Let me try to bundle up all this information that I would have wanted at this age and that I could have took to the field. Because whatever they say in that classroom, I got to take it onto the mound and I got to execute it. And so I prepared. I prepared a lot for this, and I said, I got to come back better. Like, you can't ever come back the next year and be the same freaking guy. And so last year I prepped, and I knew exactly what I was going to say. And you know how I got better this year? I didn't know how it was going to go. I kind of went off the cuff with the hitters, and it was pretty fucking good. And they definitely got a feel for what I wanted. I do work with a coach. He's 85 years old, double PhD in theology and psychology. He's been doing work in psychology for almost 60 years. And we work on personal authority, but also what he calls letting the Holy Spirit enter. And I don't know who's religious here, but I really am here for you guys. Not here for me. I mean, I've built my whole life around working with 15 to 25-year-old baseball players. I used to work with NFL players, NBA, this and that, and I said, fuck that. My dad told me, he goes, you're best equipped to serve the person you once were. And I said, okay. So I work with them mentally, emotionally, functional fitness, biomechanical, nutrition, sleep. Got a lot of guys playing a lot of different places. Some highlights for me were we had two guys that were in the minor leagues for over 6 years, and they both made their big league debut after their first offseason of training with me, which is really cool. Shifted their perspective, changed their results. First round draft pick, and then we got two in the cooker for this year, projected first rounders, and then everyone else that is working to achieve their dreams. Taking them from where they're at to where they want to be. And that's what I try to do. So last year I gave the talk, got a couple views on Instagram, had fun, thought it was cool. Wow, I'm with a Division I program. This stuff's happening fast. This is cool. And I called Sean called me and said, hey, what are you doing? You think you could come help us? And I said, yeah, I'd want it to be a little bit different though. I don't want to do a one-off. I don't want to show up and make it seem like I'm there for an Instagram reel. I want to get on the ground and work with these guys. And so what we've set up is once a month, October, November, December, he calls it my tryout. I get a tryout, and then I'll probably be on board with you guys for the season. That's pretty much him, right? Yeah, which is great. I love it. Bring me a fucking tryout. I do pretty good in every single tryout I've ever been in. But that's why I'm here. I'm here because I want to help you guys whatever fashion I can. You guys can ask me any questions about anywhere from biomechanics to your mental fortitude. But I'm pretty sure as a Division I athlete, you got the weight room pretty much on lock. You got great coaches who know what they're talking about. So for today, we're going to talk about a couple different components. We're going to talk about some unwavering confidence, understanding your vision, and how we're going to go about accomplishing what you want as an individual first. So anyways, before we get started on the breath work, I want you to write this down. I want you to write down, what is my biggest challenge? Go get it. 16 for 17. Does that guy usually forget his notebook? Is that like
He's a little retarded.
Standard? So we're going to need to coach him up?
Yeah,
Okay, so here, let's talk about him for a second. He's out of the room. Let's talk about him. What do we do with someone like that? He consistently showcases that? I'll tell you what a college baseball locker room does. right? Basically.
Saw it happen.
Yeah. Okay. Guy's a head ass. Guy forgets his stuff. You know what that guy needs? Like for 2 weeks?
Give his ass.
No. That guy ain't going to respond to that because you know why he looked at me? And he goes, I don't have it. That guy's in survive. He's not in thrive. Totally normal. I was in 2 different Division I locker rooms, 3 different coaches. For some reason, I think I need to understand the brain more before I make this kind of claim, but there's so much development going on in the frontal lobe at 18 to 24 in specific. And the frontal lobe deals with emotional logic and reason. And so you see this person as a person of authority, and you say, that person should help me. But if I do something wrong, he's going to scold me. And then my teammates, if I upset them, I'm an outcast. But I love these guys. I want to be with these guys, right? So we got to understand the individual first. We're talking about you. Big guy. We're talking about you. So we got to understand the individual. So what you need, okay, and I'm calling you out just because you called yourself out, really, is you need one guy to be your guy. One guy to be your guy. Whoever it is, I'd prefer amongst this group, amongst the pitchers, to be your guy. You don't ever fucking forget a notebook again. It's a standard amongst the team. I texted the leader, I texted the captain of this team. I said, hey, make sure your boys bring your notebook. Technically, the leader failed. Right? Were we perfect execution on doing a simple task? No. Like, is that a controllable? Right? It's fucking coach talk. It's a controllable. But we weren't perfect on it. Red flag. We don't have great accountability to the top. If my sales guy fails, whose fault is it? It's my fault, right? If my assistant coaches don't serve the way that they should serve, whose fault is it? You can sit down, buddy. Go ahead. Yeah, right there. There's a seat. Are you on this team yet? Okay. All right, so this is a tribe right here. These guys have done a lot of work together. I'm not meaning to make you an outcast, but they're a tribe. When someone new walked in the room, changes the vibe right away. Okay? That's okay. I just want you to be aware of that. So we have to be accountable all the way to the top and the top down. We'll talk about a tribe in a little bit. Okay? So what did I ask you to write down? Okay. Remember that. You don't have a notebook. You didn't know. We're going to go on our back now. We're going to go through a 10-minute breathing protocol, and we're going to get to work. We're going to get your head in a right space, and then we're going to get after it, okay? All right, let's go. Let's get on our back. Okay, how are we feeling there? Good? Calm, relaxed, ready to learn? You guys do a lot of that work, right? You guys got, no? Not like that? No?
I mean, Tony does like some every day usually.
Like a little variation?
It's like 26 breaths.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like meditation too.
A lot of meditation.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel with that?
I like it.
You like it? Yeah. It's beneficial. It's like I think of things as like life things and baseball things, and sometimes they get intermixed, right? Like we all know those guys that are like, all right, I got to eat this, I got to drink this, I got to do this so that I throw 92. It's like, bro, homie's out here partying till 2 in the morning, coming out throwing 94. Like, but there are some things that could create more consistent results for sure. Breathing, I like identifying as a life thing. If your life's better, usually your profession's better. Technically, this is a profession. What you guys do here is a profession. It should be respected as a profession. You're called student athletes, but you're freaking athletes, and you got to figure out school too. I mean, that's the truth, at least in my experience. Maybe it's different here. Are we on the same page? Yeah, it's cool. It's what we want. We're all ball players, right? It's what we want. Don't let me forget, can you create a group chat with me in it I forgot to do with the hitters. I got excited. I have 2 breathing protocols. I have a pregame breathing protocol that's a 5-minute, help you lock in, laser in on your competition. And then I have a 17-minute breathing expiration. For your context, that was 10 minutes. Okay, that was a 10-minute one. Breath holds got up to 1:45 there, which is pretty sufficient. You guys can actually train that capacity. And when I was talking about the anterior cingulate cortex, it's a little part in your frontal lobe that says enough is enough. So if you're doing push-ups and you're like, my chest, it's really your brain saying, hey, that's enough, man. And so you can actually expand that, and a really good way to expand it is through breath holds. It's the safest because it's like, I can't breathe, and you breathe and you're fine, right? But expanding that anterior cingulate cortex really helps you understand what you can and cannot accomplish and what your threshold is. So anyways, enough of that. I'm here today for you. Pitchers, I love you guys. Like I said in the introduction, I've dedicated my life to 15 to 25-year-old pitchers, really, ball players. It's weird. The professionals I work with come from the hitting side, a few pitchers, but really pitching development, understanding how the mind works on the mound, how the mind works in your training, and how to implement that onto the field. So that's what we're going to work on today. I have a guy I'm working with right now. He came from the Pirates organization. We had known each other in the past, and he is really, really, really locked in on what he wants to accomplish. He has a unique story. He grew up with a single mom. Dad was in and out randomly throughout his life. Went to a high school that didn't really have all too much to offer him. He finds a way to go play Division I baseball. He's raw, he's good, he's talented. He kind of progresses. He becomes a draft prospect his junior year, tears his UCL, goes back for his senior year, becomes an 18th rounder, goes into the Pirates organization, and he has a great first short season, and then has his first season this year. And so after the short season, he went back home. He was doing DoorDash. He was doing this and that. And he was training. He felt like he was training with someone pretty good, and but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And so he calls me in July. He goes, yo, Tom, I need to plan my off-season of training. Now, meanwhile, the pro off-season doesn't really start till like November 15th. Is when I start with the professionals. But he goes, it's July. And he calls me, he goes, Tom, I need to plan out my off-season. I go, okay, what's going on, Birdie? What's going on? He goes, I don't know the difference between when I have it and when I don't have it. I was like, okay, that's cool. I said, so is it a physical thing? No, velo's good, man. All right, elbow barking? No, elbow's good. I just don't know the difference between when I have it and don't have it. Who's been there? I know I have for sure, right? We all have. Sometimes we go out on the mound, our shit is gross. Bah, bah. Sometimes, dude, can't even hit the zone. And it's three walks, and I'm out the game, and I'm thinking about it for 3 weeks because I'm not going to pitch again for 3 weeks. I might get in on a Tuesday, and your brain starts going all over the place. I'm not going to get drafted. Oh, my God, are they going to cut me? All these conversations start happening in our head. And so what I did for him when he came in was I drew these circles on the wall, and I did it with the last group, and it illustrated the point. I said, sometimes you have average stuff, sometimes you're lights out, and then sometimes you don't have it. Right? And so you walk out on the mound, and I'm talking to him, you walk out on the mound, and sometimes you're here, right? And you're just like, it's okay, runner got on second, walked the guy, didn't really have my stuff, but I got through it. Average, lights out, don't have it. Then there's days you come out and you're just like, no one can touch me. No one can touch me right now. Everything works. And we love those days. We've all had those days. If you haven't had those days, you probably wouldn't be in here. We've all had those days. You guys are D1 ball players. You're freaking good. Okay? You're really good. So we've all had lights out days. We don't really need much coaching around lights out days. Lights out days, we're not looking to the coach for some advice, right? We're not looking to our teammates for a little bit of help. We're dominant. So really, the question is, what do we have to do when average days start going to days that we don't have it? What's What's happening there? Like, what's the conversation? Do you guys know the conversation that's happening in your head on those days? And let open forum. Like, I'm not here to lecture. I'm here to work with you. What?
Negative?
Negative talk?
Yeah.
So you're just like preaching negative to yourself?
Probably, yeah.
Like, fuck. I'm behind. This is your language? Okay, this is good. The other group didn't give me this much context already. Language. Controllable. Good.
I think places like low confidence.
Okay, good. We're going to get there. Okay. What else?
Like moving too fast.
Fast. Sped up.
Rush, yeah.
We've all been there, right? You should have seen me as a freshman in Washington. I was fucking sped up. I was like, are we going odds or even? You know, what are we doing? Fast, sped up. Okay.
Start thinking about your preparation.
Doubt your preparation, really? Yeah, you're not really thinking about it, you're doubting it, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, good. Kind of falls under this context. Confusion. You're confused because you're sped up. You don't know what the signs are. Okay, good. Okay, so you guys are on it, right? Average to don't have it. I'm going to kind of give you something that's going to make you rethink things for a little bit. Deep down in psychology, I mentioned the guy that I work with. He's helped me with my life. I'm a better man. I'm a better person. I'm a better business. Everything has grown since I started working with him 20 months ago. Every single Monday at 11 a.m., I don't miss it. 85, works with high-performing CEOs, dual PhD. It's unbelievable work. What's actually happening here is you're carrying with you your entourage. And I know that kind of sounds philosophical, but you're carrying your entourage with you. So to simplify it into baseball terms, what I say, in the psychology term, carrying your entourage with you, what I say is you're playing their game. Write that down. You are playing their game. When you're cursing yourself out, you're not really cursing yourself out. You're actually just funneling the voices that you've had in your past with your coaches onto the mound with you. When you're sped up, you're concerned with what someone else thinks about you. That's why you have anxiety while you're doing it. When you doubt it, you're fearful what could or could not happen in the future. And when you lack confidence, I have a good one for you. When you lack confidence, you've punctured that area and you're starting to forecast it, okay? So playing their game is stats. Playing their game is stats. Their game is walks, strikeouts, whip, you name the million stats. Induced vertical break, 3,200 this, blah, blah, blah. That's their game. It's not your game. It's not your game. It's why sometimes you could have your great stuff, and sometimes you could have your bad stuff, and sometimes you could have your average stuff, and you could get all different types of results. Because it really isn't in your control. It's their game. When you start playing someone else's game, what ends up happening is it causes you to have doubt on what your validity is. Make sense? Because it's theirs. It's not yours. You don't own it. But the reason that most people end up playing their game is because they've never created a vision, a very clear vision for themselves. Write that down. Creating a clear vision for your game, creating a clear vision for your game is going to allow you not to play their game. You guys with me on this? Okay. Now, I have another question for you. I want you to really understand what you love playing about this game. What is it that you love playing about this game? So for me, I loved when my curveball went under a right-hander's barrel. Like when that went under the right-hander's barrel and he walked back to the dugout with his head down, I was in flow. I loved it. I was like, dude, I love playing this game. If that happened 10 times in a game and I got to go home, I was like, man, I love that game that I just played today. So get clear. We have time. Oxytocin's in the room, okay? You went through breathing. You have someone here who's passionate about being with you. take the time to clearly write what it is that makes you love this game. Get super, super, super clear on that. Take your time, no rush here. This is probably the most important thing you're doing today. Sides throwing strikes in the inner squad in October.
Somebody shot
Snuck in here.
Okay, obviously, if I gave you this much time, I'm going to walk around and pick on and ask why you love playing this game. Has anyone ever asked you that, or have you ever thought about that before? Like, very, very specifically. Like, what happens, and I love this, and I feel so good about this? What is it? Go ahead, shoot.
Beating my opponent, whether it's pitch or the game at all, I just fucking love winning.
It's too general. It's too general. Get more specific. I'm like your 7th grade English teacher. Too general on the commentary. So you don't have to do it to me now. Get way more specific on that. I want a pitch. I want a location. I want a moment. If you're a general like him, get back to work. Good? You got a good one? Give me a good one.
I love making hitters look stupid.
Okay, awesome.
Splitter down in the dirt. That feeling of dominance, even a little bit of cockiness.
Perfect. Okay, so you can feel that, right? He writes that, he says that, you can feel that. What's your first name again? Johnny. Johnny's on the mound. He's got a little bit of that hair. He's got a little bit of that cockiness. He's got a little bit of that swagger. He throws that splitter down. The guy swings right over it. He walks back to the dugout. He's kind of walking around like he's the man. You guys can clearly see that, right? Okay, so where I'm going with this is the first step that I took in order to create the results that I wanted. So what I love doing every day is being with you guys, people like you, 15 to 25-year-old baseball players, helping them go from where they're at to where they want to be. That's what I want to do every freaking day. Okay, that's pretty general, right? How do you want to do it? I want to do it with mental, emotional, breathing. I want to do it with biomechanics. I want to do it with nutrition. I want to do it with sleep. I want to do it with strength training. Okay, great. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to build a business around it. I'm going to get an app. I'm going to hire some coaches. I'm going to grind at it. I'm going to work 16 hours a day at it. And I'm just going to freaking do it. Because I don't want anyone else telling me what I can and cannot do, so I'm just going to own my own business. I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can to do it. And if I fail, I fail. Just go play someone else's game. I'll go work for someone. Right? Where they tell me what I can and cannot do. The beauty of sports is when you have the ball, it's no one else's game. It's your fucking game. It's your game. It's your business. It's your life. It's your career. Like, it's yours. It's not his. It's not the catcher's. It's not the shortstop booting it. It's fucking yours. So do I get to blame anyone when the sales guys fail? Do I get to blame anyone when it doesn't go right? No, it's mine. And I love that. It's why you pitch. It's why you're the guy on the mound. Because you love that. Something inside you loves that. Where it's yours. You're accountable to it. It's your fucking stats. Right? You love that. Get in touch with loving that. Because if you can grab accountability for that, you can own your game. You're going to own it. You're not going to blame anyone else. You're not going to blame the pitch calls. You're not going to blame your defense. You're not going to bitch about it. You're going to fucking own it. If it's yours. You hear me on that? So now, The task is creating your game. How the hell do you create your game? Johnny wants to make him look stupid. Great. Thanks, Johnny. Make him look stupid, baby. Okay? Splitters in the dirt makes him look stupid, according to Johnny. So what the hell does Johnny do every freaking day to make sure that his splitter is absolutely perfect? He can pull that thing out of his back pocket, throw it in the dirt, make him look stupid every day. That's why he goes to class. That's why he goes to the weight room. That's why he shows up to practice. That's why he rakes the line. That's why he tamps the mound. That's why he puts the shit away so that he can get out on the mound and fucking throw the splitter down in the dirt and walk around the mound like a dog. Right? He doesn't do all that other bullshit to just do it. He does it because he loves throwing a splitter in the dirt and making him look stupid. But what happens is you let other people control your freaking game. You let outsiders, you let your entourage, you let coaches control your game. You let parents control your game. You let scouts control your game. You let the other team control your game. It's not, you can't blame it on them. So why are you giving it to them? If you blame someone, all you're doing is giving the power away. You're taking the power away from yourself. So if you haven't clearly identified what your game is, you don't even know what you're giving away. So when I get some BS, not clearly, not articulate, not clear on your vision, it's going to go away in a second. Because if I pulled you over in a dark alley and I said, hey, bro, what's your vision? You're going to be like, I don't know. All right, taken, gone. Now all of a sudden you're going to have language that you're talking shitty to yourself. You're going to get sped up. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to have poor body language. You're going to lack confidence because you don't know what you want. Like, I know what I want. 15 to 25-year-old baseball players, I want to make a fuck ton of money. I'm going to work absolutely as hard as I can. I'm not going to let anybody tell me what I can and cannot do. And I'm going to go grind, build coaches, build leaders, build people. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go make a freaking impact. I'm on my vision. I'm on my vision. I'm doing it. Right? If you see me doing it, I feel this. I love this. I want to be here. I want to do this. So do you. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't go through all the shit to just be on the mound and have bad body language, to be sped up, to doubt yourself, to have poor body language. All that stuff. You wouldn't have all that. It's not why you came. But you're letting someone else control it. Okay, so you can identify who's controlling it and say, oh, I'm giving the power away. You can get in touch with what your vision is. But then what's going to happen is you're going to start to execute your game and you're going to all of a sudden love it even more. You see what I'm saying? So if he is so committed to splitters in the dirt, he should be spending every waking moment dreaming about that, breathing on that, working on that. This dude's splitter grip should be like, I wake him up at 2 in the morning and he's like, bah! If he says that's why he loves it, you guys aren't there yet, which is fine. You're not there yet. What's your vision?
I said going to fastball bio.
Okay, so are you doing everything in the weight room biomechanically to make sure that your glutes in the right position, your obliques are strong enough, you can create that extension and blow freaking heaters by people? And maybe you are, and you can say yes to yourself, and that's great. But if you love blowing heaters by everybody, you better throw fucking 100. Right? Throw pretty hard? Yeah, good. Good. Now you got to get strong enough to make sure you can throw hard a long time. Because you don't want to throw hard and then not be able to throw hard, because then you're going to be all depressed because you can't throw hard. So if you've created something, you got to protect it. Right? Like a farmer does all the farming, but they don't let the coyotes come in and eat all their crops. Right? So you build yourself up to be able to accomplish something, you better protect it. Once you got it, you got to keep it. So once I've gotten here, do you think the work gets easier on my vision? No. The work becomes more focused. That's the difference. The work doesn't become harder, it becomes more focused. Write that down. The work doesn't become harder, it becomes more focused. I got a really good one for you. My absolute favorite person that I ever worked with and continue to work with, because he challenges the absolute shit out of me. I spend 2.5 hours a day pretty much every day with him unless he's going on all his big visits right now. Okay? He's 6'8", he's left-handed, he's been up to 96. He's so determined. And the only thing that matters in his life is God and baseball. No bullshit. Mormon, obsessed with the Mormon faith, and he is just addicted to the craft of pitching. Okay, I walk into his room for the first time last week. We had dinner together, and I walk into his room. He's got a whiteboard, like a quarter the size, or 3/4 the size of this. I'm taking a picture. I'm sending it in our group chat. Goals and vision clearly articulated. Training, it's with Tommy. It's from this time, this day, this time. We're working on this, this, and this in this phase. And then school, I got to do this. These are all my times. God, this is what I'm doing with God. This is where I'm at here. This is where I'm at with these scouts. This is who I got to talk to. This is what I got to do with my agent. Boom. The whole fucking whiteboard. So not only is he 6'8", left-handed, throws 96, 18 years old, and he's got a 3,200 curveball, working on a third pitch changeup, he is more focused than anyone I've ever been around. I've been around Super Bowl champions, everybody. 4 different billionaires I've worked with. He is more focused than anyone. He is going to be the best fucking pitcher I've ever worked with. Dialed. His bullpens, it's a pain in the ass. It takes 45 minutes. But he's like, no, it's got to be like this. That wasn't right. Let me see that video. And it's compulsive. And it's too much. And it's like, bro, you gotta relax. You gotta play baseball. You gotta love it, man. No. He's like, this is my fucking mission. This is what I'm doing. These prophets from this church told me that I don't have to go on a mission and preach the gospel like everyone else. My mission is to go be a professional baseball player. That's my biggest service. I'm going to do this extremely, extremely well. And if it's not perfect, it's not done. So that's why he dominates everybody. And he was behind last year. Builds up throughout the summer, goes to area codes. All of a sudden, now he's in the first round. But he executed when he got his opportunity. Right? Now he's on the boards in the first round. He was a 4th, 5th rounder maybe. But now he is there. And so my point of this is, yes, he has all these intangibles, but he's so dialed in on what he has to do to a point where I don't know if everyone in this room is that dialed in on what they need to do and what they're calling, what their purpose, what their vision is for it. And if you are, great. And if you're working at it, great. Maybe there's some reinforcement. But that's him, okay? Next point I wanted to talk about before I ask you your question is back to Elijah. Elijah asked me, he goes, T, we're sitting at lunch. He goes, dude, I want to get to a point where I just have absolutely unwavering confidence. My confidence is unbreakable. I have a titanium ball around my confidence that nobody can puncture. That's what I need to get to. I said, okay, cool. I like the idea. Is that realistic as a human? I said, is that a feasible vision? To never have your confidence disrupted. Do you guys think that's accomplishable? No. What is accomplishable, though, is for no one to ever know that you don't have confidence. Write that down. It's important. It's a nugget. It's not about having unwavering confidence. It's about not letting other people know. Now, we'll talk about your tribe and your group of people that you trust, that you can talk to. I'm not saying don't talk to people. I'm saying that when you step out on that field, no one knows if you're confident or unconfident. You are who you are. You're Johnny with a splitter. Right? That's it. It's war, bro. Like, you're out there, that's it. Cold-blooded killer. Pitchers, unwavering. And what they're showing, maybe not what they're feeling. Reinforce the point. I actually saw this on an Instagram reel. Trevor Hoffman's a good friend, and he reinforced the story to be true, but there's a guy, he was telling a story about Trevor, and he was like, hey, I went in for the 8th inning, and I didn't have my stuff. We've all been there. I didn't have my stuff. And I couldn't find it, didn't have the curveball, fastball was down, I'm getting hit around. We have a 6-run lead, I'm supposed to cover the 8th and the 9th. And I hit it around, I give up 4. They yank me. We're up 2 runs. We bring in Trevor right after me. Trevor comes out there. He's 88, 89, couple 90s, no changeup, walking around the mound like an absolute dog. Grinds it out, no runs, no hits, 1, 2, 3. But everybody in that stadium knew he didn't have his stuff because they could just look up at the scoreboard and knew. But that hitter in the box was facing Trevor Hoffman, and he let them feel him. His presence was so strong. Yeah, dude, step off the mound. Probably looks up at the foul pole, does his little focal point thing, right? I don't have my changeup. I don't have this. No, he cuts the bullshit, cuts off the language. He's not carrying anyone else out there. He's out there for him, right? Derek Jeter gets out. What's the iconic? Every coach, as we're growing up, talks about Derek Jeter. What does he do? He grounds out, takes his helmet off, boom. Back up on the rail. Cold-blooded killer. Tom Brady, down 28 points in a Super Bowl. Dog. Tom Brady most talented, Derek Jeter most talented, Trevor Hoffman most talented? Fuck no. Best stuff? No. Didn't let people feel it. Didn't let people know. We've all been there where coach comes up, hey, you be all right, man. Teammate comes up, you be all right. Come on, let's just keep working, right? What does that tell me? In psychological terms, what does that tell me? That tells me you're showing it. I don't want to fucking know. I don't want to know. If I'm your coach, I don't want to know if you're not confident. Fuck that. I'm not putting you in the game, right? Let's be real. Let's be real. If you don't look confident, why the hell would I ever call your number in the 8th inning when it matters? Cut the bullshit of mental, emotional, what's right, this and that. If we're playing an important game and it's the 8th inning and you don't look confident, I'm not calling you. That's real. Not some foo-foo shit about comforting each other. This is tough shit. Your numbers are up on a website where everyone in the world could see it. You're on the mound by yourself. You got the ball in your hand. You're sweating. It's real. Act like it's real. Tommy, what do you do with it, though? What do you do with it? You got to build a freaking tribe. You got to build a tribe. So right here, build, write it down. It's kind of fitting as Aztecs, right? They had tribes. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean, build a tribe? Building a tribe, preferably for me, would be taking 3, 4 men that you absolutely trust. You're dudes. Maybe it's a girl. It's not mom or dad, by the way. Not mom or dad. We'll get into it next time, psychological reasons. Not mom or dad. You're not calling home to mom and dad. I need 3, 4 dudes. They don't have to be in this room. You can play soccer if you play soccer. You can play football, whatever. You can be a student. You can be your best friend from high school. It could be all 4, these 4 guys here. You got to build a tribe. You got to identify men that you count on. You got to have these guys in your life. You got to have these guys in your life where you can be vulnerable with them and they can shoot you straight. You're confident in the fact that they're going to shoot you straight and you're going to shoot them straight. Now write this down. This is not your complain squad. This is not your complain squad. This is your converse squad. You need these men in your life. Or people, I should say. You need these people in your life. We all need it. I have them. I got a rock star tribe. I got an 85-year-old in that tribe. I got an 18-year-old in that tribe. And I got a 48-year-old in that tribe. 3 different men from 3 different walks of life at 3 different points in their life. I can go to them with anything. Business, life, girl, whatever. That's my tribe, and I know it. And if I'm going through a little something and I don't have that confidence inside me, I feel like it's been punctured, I got to reassess. Am I getting caught up in my entourage? Am I Worried about their game versus my game? Am I staying clear on my vision? Am I truly impacting and serving the way that I want to serve? Am I helping the way I want to help? I start to ask myself those questions, and then I go to my tribe with it, and then they shoot me straight. They shoot me absolutely straight, and I shoot them straight. They're my tribe. And that is how you keep the ball rolling. So when Birdie calls me in July, and he goes, bro, I just can't find it. I started the season hot. I was dominant in spring training. Big leaguers couldn't hit my stuff. I'm excellent. And then I couldn't find it for a little bit. And then I didn't have it by August. And now I need to reinvent myself this offseason. No. Number one identifier, you didn't have a tribe to count on. You couldn't go to the Pirates org. You couldn't talk to the pitching coach. He'd give you some bullshit comment about, hey, man, it's just a little arm side. Get it over there to the glove side. That wasn't a real talk. And that's okay. He's not in his tribe. It shouldn't be a real talk. It should be surface level. I'm the pitching coordinator. I'm the pitching coach. Get it to the glove side. That's the real performance. That's his job. Not his job to be your guy. That's your fault if you don't have the guy. Build better relationships. If you can't find your tribe, if you're sitting here like, who is my tribe? Start serving people more. Start being there for people more. Because if you don't have people that you can count on, that means you're extremely selfish. Because you've never done anything for anyone else where they want to be there for you. I've built my life around doing things for others. So I cut it down to 3. He didn't have a tribe, though, that he could go to. He had his fun teammates. He had, whoever. But you can't call your mom about this. You can't call your dad about this. Right? They don't get it. Even if they do, they don't get it. You need people on the ground that are with you, that get you. And you need to go to them about it. It's really, really important. Write down your tribe. All right, on time. Okay. It's okay. Okay, last thing. I know you got important business to cover, but last thing. Now, after all that information, after all that talk, right? After all the notes, after the breathing, I gave you that one question at the very beginning. Hopefully now, that answer to what is your biggest challenge has shifted. Because you're going to do some down and in work versus out and up work. Our world is out and up. Velo, strength, speed, numbers, out and up, outward. Their game. That's the way we've trained our brain. Never to go down, in, and figure out our vision, our game. So your biggest challenge is actually accessing your down and in. And I know it is because I've sat in your seat. I had no idea about this stuff. This is the game changer. This is what creates the results for my life. This is it. So I'm going to come back in about 3 weeks. You got to know your biggest challenge. You got it? Write this down. You got to know your biggest challenge. You got to know your vision of why you love this game. And you got to know who your tribe is. Now, we're going to start a group chat, and I'm going to send you the breathing protocols that are recorded for you. And what you're going to do is, before I come back, you're going to text me individually those 3 answers. What your biggest challenge is, Got it? What your biggest challenge is, why you love playing this game, and who your tribe is. If you got those 3 things clearly identified, we can start moving forward from there. Got it? All right, let's have a great day. Let's go.